Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. In Week 1, the Washington Commanders sent a message to the rest of the league that they were no longer the same defensive unit that had collapsed so often in critical playoff moments last season. After surrendering nearly 1,000 yards in their final two postseason outings, Washington flipped the script in a dominant showing against the New York Giants, holding them to just 231 total yards and keeping them completely out of the end zone. It was more than just a defensive victory, it was historic. The Commanders had not beaten the Giants at home without conceding a touchdown in 46 years, and they did so despite a frustrating pile of penalties that threatened to derail momentum. What stood out most, however, wasn't just the collective improvement, but the emergence of a player many outside Washington had yet to notice, safety Quan Martin, who quietly delivered the kind of performance that hints at a true breakout season. Martin's game didn't start perfectly, and that's part of what made his performance so compelling. Early on, he was beaten in man coverage by the explosive rookie Malik Nabers, a play that could have rattled a young defensive back. Instead, Martin responded with the poise of a veteran. From that moment forward, he was everywhere, tying for the most defensive snaps on the team and showing exactly why head coach Dan Quinn singled him out during preseason as someone primed to go big. By the end of the afternoon, Martin had filled the stat sheet with 5 tackles, a quarterback hit, and even a near interception that was wiped away by what many considered a questionable pass interference call. He didn't just survive adversity, he thrived after it, demonstrating growth, resilience, and a knack for showing up in the game's biggest moments. What really set Martin apart was his impact in the red zone, where defenses make or break their reputations. Twice, the Giants drove inside Washington's 5-yard line, threatening to steal momentum and put pressure on the Commanders' offense. Twice, Martin and the defense held firm, denying New York any points and frustrating veteran quarterback Russell Wilson. Wilson, who has seen countless defensive looks in his career, was held to just 2-for-9 passing for 12 yards, and a miserable 39.6 passer rating in the red zone. Martin had a hand in those stops, blowing up plays with his speed and anticipation. He even came within inches of recording his first sack, showing a versatility that makes him a nightmare for opposing offenses. For a second-year player still carving out his role, that type of presence near the goal line is exactly what separates solid contributors from budding stars. The Illinois product is beginning to show why Washington invested a second-round pick in him in 2023. With his instincts, physicality, and energy, Martin has the tools to develop into a centerpiece for Quinn's defense, not just a supporting piece. Teammates already rave about his preparation and his ability to pick up concepts quickly, which is why he's trusted with heavy snap counts this early. That confidence paid off against the Giants. Every time New York tried to swing momentum, Martin seemed to be there, whether it was by forcing receivers into tight windows, finishing off-ball carriers, or delivering pressure on blitzes. Even the plays that don't show up on the stat sheet, like forcing Wilson to hurry a throw or disrupting a route with tight coverage, spoke volumes about his growing influence. Washington hasn't had a young safety generate this much buzz since the days of Sean Taylor. And while those are massive shoes to fill, Martin is starting to hint at something special. After the game, Martin downplayed his individual performance, which is exactly the kind of humility that tends to win over locker rooms. He emphasized that the defense's success was all about unity and execution, about 11 men doing their jobs and trusting the scheme. He told reporters, "I think the standard is set. I think we know what we can do as a unit. Now, it's just continuing to build, continuing to get better, fixing little mistakes, and just keep playing." That mindset perfectly encapsulates what Quinn is trying to build. A culture where accountability and discipline are the bedrock, and flashy stats are simply the byproduct of consistent, team-first football. For a young player who could easily bask in post-game praise, Martin's focus on collective growth over personal accolades showed the maturity of someone ready to take on a bigger role. Washington fans have plenty to be excited about. The defense, which had become a liability in recent years, looked fast, physical, and opportunistic against a division rival. The offense, while sloppy at times, still put up 21 points, enough to secure a comfortable victory. And in the middle of it all, A 24-year-old safety who once looked like a project is suddenly looking like a cornerstone. If Martin continues stacking performances like this, he won't just be a pleasant surprise. He could emerge as the heartbeat of this defense. Pro Bowl talk might sound premature after just 1 week, but with his blend of production, versatility, and leadership potential, it's not far-fetched. The NFL has a way of elevating players who seize their moments, and Martin is doing just that. The Commanders' Week 1 win wasn't only about a scoreboard or a box score. It was about setting a new tone for a franchise desperate to turn the page. They showed that penalties wouldn't break them, that red zone resilience matters, and that hidden gems can become foundational pieces. Quan Martin didn't just fill a role. He embodied what Washington is trying to build: toughness, adaptability, and an unshakable belief in the unit. As the season unfolds, his name may no longer fly under the radar, because performances like this demand attention. The Commanders may have found their hidden gem, and if this trajectory continues, the rest of the league will have to adjust to the reality that Washington's defense, once a glaring weakness, now has a rising star ready to help it shine. In a league defined by game changers, Martin might just be the one the Commanders have been waiting for. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Whispers are circulating around the NFL world that could shake the very foundation of the league, as sources suggest a stunning development involving the Washington Commanders and one of their most electrifying stars. According to insiders who prefer to stay in the shadows, the Commanders are reportedly negotiating a last-minute, secret deal to bring Chase Young back into the fold, a move that would send shockwaves through both fan bases and rival locker rooms. The timing is crucial, as the trade discussions allegedly began under a veil of secrecy just days before the league's trade deadline, catching analysts and fans off guard. While official statements remain elusive, the rumor mill is already buzzing with speculation about the motivations behind this maneuver, the potential assets exchanged, and the impact on team chemistry. If true, this could rewrite the narrative of the Commanders' season, transforming them from cautious contenders into bold statement makers overnight. The intrigue surrounding Chase Young's potential return is fueled by his undeniable talent and magnetic presence on the field, elements that any team would covet. Young's explosiveness as a pass rusher has always made him a game-changer, capable of turning the tide of a contest in a matter of seconds, and his rumored reintegration into Washington's defensive scheme has experts reimagining the team's potential lineup. Observers are already speculating about the locker room dynamics, wondering how his return might influence both veteran leaders and emerging talents, while fans are engaging in heated debates about whether his presence could immediately elevate the team to championship contention. The secrecy surrounding the negotiations adds a layer of drama, suggesting that front office strategists are playing a high-stakes game, balancing risk with reward. If the trade materializes, analysts predict a ripple effect across the league, forcing opponents to recalibrate offensive strategies and perhaps even reconsider the timing of their own roster moves. Adding to the mystique of this clandestine trade are reports that discussions were conducted with remarkable discretion, hinting at a delicate dance between management, agents, and Young himself. Speculation abounds regarding what Washington may have offered to bring him back, with whispers ranging from draft picks to player swaps that have yet to be confirmed. The rumor has ignited an online frenzy, as fans scour social media for clues, interpreting every cryptic post and insider leak as evidence of a seismic shift in the league. Commentators are weighing in on potential scenarios, exploring the tactical advantages of reinserting Young into the defensive lineup and projecting how his presence might impact game day strategies. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly scrambling to assess the ramifications, considering how this move could alter playoff trajectories and change the balance of power in the NFC. If these reports are accurate, the Commanders could be orchestrating one of the most audacious moves in recent NFL history. Even beyond the technical aspects of the game, the narrative of Chase Young's possible return taps into broader themes of redemption, loyalty, and unfinished business. Fans are enthralled by the idea of a player returning to a familiar team with renewed vigor, and media outlets are already framing the potential trade as a high-stakes story filled with intrigue and drama. The secrecy surrounding the negotiations only amplifies the mystique, inviting endless speculation about motives and consequences. Social media platforms are alive with fan theories, from the pragmatic evaluations of defensive statistics to more sensational narratives about personal relationships, locker room politics, and the emotional resonance of a homecoming. The buzz is palpable, with rumors feeding on themselves, creating a narrative that blends performance expectations with cultural significance. If the deal is finalized, it may not only change the tactical outlook of the Commanders, but also redefine how mid-season trades are perceived by both fans and analysts alike. Adding fuel to the fire, some insiders suggest that this rumored trade has been a long time in the making, hinting at negotiations that may have started months ago but remained under wraps until now. The notion that Washington might have quietly orchestrated a back-channel approach to reclaim one of its brightest defensive talents adds layers of intrigue and strategy, underscoring the complexity of NFL front office maneuvering. Analysts are already dissecting potential motivations. Did the Commanders recognize a missing puzzle piece in their defensive scheme, or are they attempting to send a message to the league about their ambitions? Either way, the speculation has triggered a surge of fan engagement, with forums, podcasts, and live streams dissecting every detail and projecting what a Young-led defense could accomplish against the league's elite offenses. The secrecy, timing, and potential impact of this move make it a narrative ripe for debate, with every rumor amplifying the stakes of a possible blockbuster return. The economic and contractual dimensions of such a trade are equally tantalizing, as sources hint that intricate financial considerations may be at play. Salary cap implications, incentive structures, and potential bonuses all factor into the hypothetical deal, creating a complex chessboard where every move carries both risk and reward. The media frenzy has already begun to explore how Young's return could influence not only performance, but also marketing opportunities, merchandise sales, and overall brand visibility for the Commanders. Fans are speculating about potential celebrations, jersey sales, and social media campaigns, imagining the buzz that would accompany the announcement of a secret, last-minute blockbuster deal. Even in the absence of official confirmation, the rumor has sparked a wave of excitement and anticipation, suggesting that a single player's potential return could resonate far beyond the confines of the football field, influencing cultural and financial dynamics within the sport. Finally, as the league approaches the trade deadline and speculation intensifies, all eyes remain fixed on Washington, the Commanders' front office, and, of course, Chase Young himself. The rumor of a secret last-minute trade has created an atmosphere thick with suspense, where every insider tip, every cryptic social media post, and every press conference could signal the unveiling of a monumental move. Fans and analysts alike are bracing for an outcome that could redefine not only the team's season, but the narrative arcs of multiple franchises across the league. If this speculative trade comes to fruition, it could become a case study in secrecy, strategy, and timing, demonstrating the dramatic lengths organizations will go to secure a transformative talent. Until official confirmation arrives, the NFL world will continue to buzz, theorize, and imagine a scenario in which Chase Young's return marks a new chapter of ambition, tension, and spectacle for the Washington Commanders. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.